So this system right here, is exactly what I would do to get to 10k a month from literally starting at zero. This doesn't require any money up front, and it is super simple to do. Okay, I'm going to run you through everything. Okay, start with the four core pillars. Okay, the first pillar, niche. What niche you to choose the requirements and what ideally you should want in a niche to actually succeed in it long term. Next is the offer or service, your client acquisition, and how to actually fulfill. These are the four core pillars, and this is exactly what I would do if I had to start from $0 per month, $0 in the bank, whatever. This is going to get you money in, and it's going to get you pretty much started in the agency space. Let's get started anyway. Niche. Start with the niche. I think it's the best place to start actually with the niche because this is pretty much what you're going to base your agency off. Okay. And there's four requirements in my opinion. First is having a large TAM. TAM stands for total addressable market. Okay, obviously if it's too small, there's going to be more agencies than actually businesses, or just a high ratio of agencies to businesses. That's probably not ideal, because they've probably been pitched before. They've probably had bad experiences. It's going to be harder for them to close them. Maybe even most of them actually already have agencies, so it's not really an addressable niche. If it's got a large total addressable market, pretty much means that it's perfect for your niche because, or it's perfect for you to work with because they've probably not worked with agencies in the past, and if they have, not many, maybe just the odd one here or there. Next, you need to have a clear need or want in the niche. Okay, so the niche needs to have a problem, for example. Okay, something that they need. Now, most niches they need clients. Okay, businesses need customers. That's pretty much how all businesses work. And getting customers. So that is, probably the main niche which you should be, well, main problem which you should be maybe targeting. Obviously, in terms of what actually to offer them to solve that problem, we'll go over in the service. But it all goes over. It all pretty much stems from their need or want. What is the problem and how do you solve it? Next is have the capital in to invest. So do they have the money in the bank usually to invest in services which you'd be providing? Okay. If they're broke, obviously it's probably not the best thing to work with because you won't be getting any money. It's pretty much like fucking volunteering, charity. Quite frankly, it's business. As much as that's good, we don't want that. We need people with capital to invest. If you solve rich people problems, you're going to get paid rich people money. And finally, charge enough to cover your costs. So, are you able to charge enough to cover your costs as soon as possible? So basically what this means is it has to be kind of high ticket. Okay, you can't be having niches which, for example, let's say an e-commerce store selling fidget spinners for maybe £3 to £5. Okay, that's realistically not going to be good because if you're charging, let's say, £1,000 a month, how many fidget spinners are you gonna have to sell just for them to break even? Okay, it's going to be loads. Okay, never mind the profit margin on that; it's probably going to be about 20% profit margin selling fidget spinners. You have to sell fuck ton of fidget spinners to actually cover the costs. They're not going to make any profit, so it's not really got a clear return on investment for them. And ideally, this is obviously not a need, but you would want, it to be an unknown niche a little bit. I don't want to say the word unsaturated because I don't think any niche is unsaturated if you actually solve their problems well. But if there's not got many other agencies in the niche, obviously that's perfect. And it's one which you're actually interested in that you actually like. Okay, if you absolutely can't stand cars, you can't stand working with people who own a car detailing business, for example, don't go into the car detailing niche or ceramic coating niche because it's never going to work. If you don't like the people you're going to have to talk to pretty much every day, um, it's never going to work out. You're going to hate what you're doing, and that's that's obviously not what you want. Next is your offer or service. Okay. Now, this all starts, well, in terms of the actual service, it depends on your niche. Okay. It depends on what problems they want. Okay. But obviously, we'll go through that in detail. Requirements. So, there's a few requirements here which I would suggest that you make, or that you have. It needs to solve their problem. Okay. So, the problem which you solved or which you identified when you were deciding your niche, your solution, your service needs to solve that problem. Let's say, for example, the problem is they don't get enough clients. Your solution needs to be pretty much client acquisition. You need to be solving the problem of them getting more clients through. For example, you might do this through paid ads, an appointment setting system, SEO, um, along those lines. It needs to have a clear return on investment, the offer. Okay, if your prospects which are coming on the call, the meeting with you, they don't see a return on investment. Okay, they don't see a way which they're going to actually make profit from your services. Obviously, they're going to have to pay you. If they don't see a way that they're going to make profit, it's really not going to work. That's why later on I'll recommend kind of like an offer strategy, a pricing strategy, especially for when you're starting out, to pretty much tackle this objection. And it, obviously, price which you set must represent the value that you provide. And in terms of the pricing, on that topic, the first three clients, this is kind of how I would recommend it. The first three clients which you need to get them on a commission basis. Okay, so a percentage of the job, the client, the work which you close, depending on the niche, however the language for them is, whatever that is, you're going to get a percentage of it. Maybe 10%, maybe 15, maybe 20%, depending on how high ticket or low ticket the pricing for the client services is. You're going to charge a commission basis. The main goal is to get case studies, experience, and some money in. And then after, once you've obviously after the three clients, you then maybe start to charge a setup fee plus commission, so you can get some upfront commitment. You get some money in immediately. Maybe you can invest in some systems now. Maybe go high level, something like that. And then once you're fully confident, you've worked with maybe 5 to 10 clients, you've got good results, then you can start charging a monthly retainer, which will bring monthly recurring revenue into your business. All of this doesn't actually cost any money to start off with. Next is the client acquisition. This is probably one of the most important bits. Well, debatable. I think the fulfillment is actually the most important bit. But this is the bit which you're pretty much going to be doing every single day. Is client acquisition, getting clients in, getting sales, pretty much. So, starting off with the outbound, how do we book meetings? This is where we get the appointment setting. I would focus on 2 outreach methods. One, cold calling. This is free. Okay, if you've got a personal number with unlimited calls, which to be honest you should do. If you don't, you might have to invest a bit of money. But to be honest, if you don't have a number, then I think you should be expecting that. Why cold calling? Well, it builds quick. Well, it's quick results. It builds confidence and it builds sales skills. Okay, you're going to be talking to business owners on the phone every day. That's going to increase your confidence. Okay, you're going to be more likely to, do it in the future. You might be fucking shit scared at the start. I was. Okay, when I first started cold calling, I was probably shaking. Okay, but you just do it every day. It becomes the second nature. To be honest with you, it's like talking to your mate, which you've never met. So, to be honest, I like cold calling. It actually kind of gets fun. You get to learn a lot in cold calling. You get confident. You learn your sales skills. You'll learn objection handling as well. It's a win-win, to be honest with you. I love cold calling. I think everyone should be doing cold calling if they've got an agency, especially at the start. Next is SMS. Now, you probably won't be able to do this straight away because it does require a little bit of money. Probably around £10 using my method. Now, I explain my method in my other video. Pretty much breaking down my 10k month agency. If you want to check that out, feel free. It's obviously on my YouTube channel. I go through the SMS system in detail on there. This is passive. You don't really need to have much effort towards it. You just need to call up the leads which are interested. It's easy, it's predictable, and it's relatively cheap. So, what you're going to do from the start is you can't do SMS. You have to double down on cold calling. Okay, I would recommend if you're doing both SMS and cold calling, minimum 100 outreaches per day for each of them. If you're just doing cold calls, I'll do 200 per day. Okay, maybe that takes 4 hours, maybe that takes 3 hours, depending on how many people pick up. I would recommend blocking out at least 4 hours every single day to cold call. From that, you need to be booking at least 4 meetings. That's with a 2% booking rate. With a 2% booking rate on cold calls and SMS, I think that's definitely achievable. Okay. And you need to be booking 4 meetings a day, every single day, or every weekday. Okay, so that's going to get 20 meetings a week. Realistically, let's say because it's cold outreach, show rate's likely to be lower. Let's say you're aiming for, well, you're starting out, I'd say probably around a 30% show up rate, let's say, and then maybe a 20% close rate. You should be getting at least within the first 2 weeks, to be honest, you should probably get at least maybe 3 clients closed within the first 3 weeks or 2 weeks, sorry. And those 3 are on commission, and that's all your commission done. You're going to get experience with that, and you're going to keep growing. Next is sales. So obviously you're booking the meetings in through cold call and SMS. How do you actually close the people which get on the call? Well, I go through my whole sales process in my other video, my 10k month agency one. I'd definitely recommend going watching that. And if you want the actual documents, which I use as well, feel free to send me a message on Instagram. I can give you those for completely free. That's not a problem. But yeah, once you've got pretty much like a presentation, maybe a script if you want to use one in place, I'll do demo calls with your friends to practice. Okay, get on calls with people that you know, people that you trust, and basically just pretty much act like they're a prospect. You're going to go through the call. They're going to pretty much give you objections. You're going to handle them, and then pretty much go from there. And the best practice though comes from experience. Okay, if you're booking 20 meetings a week, and let's say maybe 5 to 10 of them actually show up, the best practice is on there. Okay, you're never going to get as good practice as actually doing it. So I would do that, and then not only do you get on the calls and practice after the calls, after every call you should watch it. Okay, you get Fathom Note Taker installed onto your Chrome or whatever you use. Um, Watch every call recording and analyze it. Okay, maybe take notes, and then but the most important thing is to make improvements after it. Okay, don't just analyze it. Okay, cool. I could have done this, could have done that. Then what you need to do, you need to write down action steps with what you're going to do on the next calls and the following calls, and you're going to keep doing that. You'll keep iterating, and you'll just get better at sales. That's what I did, and that's, to be fair, yesterday. I'm literally in Italy at the moment. I closed on a 1.8k client. Literally sat here. Okay, my fucking data's shit. I was lagging out all the time. Um, but I managed to close a client here. Okay, that's because I just kept iterating my sales. Okay, sales is probably one of the most important things you need in the agency. So maybe maybe I'm skipping over this too fast. Definitely fucking invest in sales, and learning it. And finally, inbound. Okay, create fucking content. You know how many fucking inbound leads I get from my agency through this? Not through YouTube, but short form content. I used to upload my cold calls. Okay, I still do sometimes. Loads of people, loads of businesses just came in. They were interested in what I did. Okay, they were like, yeah, I can trust you. And they fucking did. I got inbound leads coming through. They work with me, and the best thing about it is inbound leads are easier to close. They already know, like, and trust you so much that they reached out to you. It's easy to close on the calls. I promise you that. You might feel scared at the start. I felt scared. I didn't want people to know that I did content that I uploaded myself. To be honest, I fucking blocked them all. Okay, I blocked everyone. Pretty much that I knew on TikTok and Instagram, so they didn't even see my videos. So I just posted. Realistically, I don't care what people think, and neither should you. Okay, you're the one who's actually going out of their comfort zone to achieve something. They're sitting behind a screen watching you. Okay, and if they want to leave hate comments, that's fucking on them. That's their life, which they're fucking portraying their insecurities onto you. So, yeah, if you're scared about it, who the fuck gives a shit? When you're sitting on your deathbed, okay, and then maybe your grandchild asks you, well, why didn't you? Why didn't you upload content? Why didn't you, make videos on what you were doing? You might as well have. Loads of people told you to do it. Why didn't you do it? Imagine telling them, oh, these people that I've never met, they might have made fun of me. That's fucking pathetic. That is a that's pathetic. Okay, I'm gonna get annoyed here. So just make fucking content. Okay, if you don't make content, you're losing out big time. You're wasting time as well. You can document your journey. Okay, loads of people want to watch that. I'm literally getting a sweat on here. Arguing about that. So let's get on to the final pillar. Final pillar is fulfillment. Now, the main point is you need to be having a repeatable system. Okay, you must be able to deliver consistent results to every single client that you're with. Um, because if you do, you can maybe offer a guarantee if as maybe a last resort to the client. Maybe if they're maybe a bit skeptical on the call, you could say, look, we'll guarantee you 10 jobs in the next month. If we don't, you'll get a full refund. You could either do a satisfaction guarantee, for example, full refund, for example. For the first 2 clients, you just focus on fulfillment 110%. All your focus should be on getting amazing results for them, because what they will do is not only they will stick with you, you can maybe upsell to a monthly retainer, they'll refer their business owner friends to you. That's 3 clients, and they already know, like, and trust you through referrals, so you can just immediately upfront charge a retainer to them. Okay, referrals are probably the best way to get clients, because if you were referred someone by your friend who you know, like, and trust, of someone they know, like, and trust, this point fucking doubling it up. Okay, it's perfect. You're gonna get loads of clients through that. So focus on fucking results. Loads of people, loads of agency owners just focus on getting clients. No, you need to be focusing on fulfillment, because if you've got a good fucking product, you'll have a good business. If you've got a shit product, people are gonna fucking find out. People are gonna know that you're selling shit. It's never going to work. And you should repeatedly trial and test new things, especially with the commission ones, because it's not you've not got a guarantee or anything. You should try and test new things, see what works, be innovative, and if it does work, perfect. You've got something which no one else does. And finally, constant client community. Oh shit! Don't know what's happened there. Constant client communication. Okay, basic. You need to have a WhatsApp group. Okay, and on that WhatsApp group, you should pretty much let them know everything that you do. Okay, especially for the first 3 to 5 clients. Keep them updated at every step. Make them feel that they're involved, that they're getting their money's worth. And not only that, you should have weekly check-in calls with your clients. In that, what you're going to do, you're just going to go over the results which you've had. You're going to check in with them how they're doing with closing the jobs. If you're doing appointment setting or just lead generation, you can still go over that. You should go over what they're doing, what you're doing. Pretty much just get alignment on the call, and it also shows that you're putting effort in, and it keeps them on the same page and it reduces the churn rate. I mean, to be honest, that is pretty much it. There's literally nothing here apart from the SMS, which I'll admit it might cost a bit of money, but that is pretty much it. To be honest with you, in terms of how I would personally go about getting clients if I had to start from £0. Okay, $0, whatever you want to say. This is simple. Stick at this for 2 months, okay, and I promise you, you will have monthly recurring revenue. Or if not even that, you'd have made at least a few £1,000s within this, and you'll have a good agency. You'll have a good foundation on there. Obviously, continue building on that. This is what you should do. Now, admittedly, it might take a bit longer. It depends on maybe your past experiences. If you started from scratch, it might take maybe 3 months to actually get going, to get confident with everything and start charging proper pricing. But if you want pretty much to get fast track to 10k a month, I pretty much mentor agency owners people looking to start an agency. So have a look in the description down below. My Instagram's in the description. Feel free to send me a DM. Asking about this if it's something you might be interested in. If you're also a business owner, okay, so maybe not an agency owner related, you might be able to work with our agency, okay, which pretty much helps you guys get more clients, qualified clients booked in and jobs, pretty much no effort on your end. Okay, so ultimately, if any of those pique your interest, send me a DM on Instagram at LB Scarborough. And yeah, I appreciate you watching this video as well. If you got to the end, well done. I hope you fucking take action on this, because it's valuable. And if you don't, you'll only pay the price of regret. Thank you for watching. Speak soon.